In these days of mass surveillance where everything we say and do is monitored, it's hard to have a truly private conversation. To keep your communications secure, you need to have some sort of encryption. Most forms of encryption can eventually be cracked using software, but there is one form of encryption that's mathematically impossible to crack, and that is the one-time pad. The one-time pad is a cryptographic method that involves using a random key of the same length as the plaintext to encrypt the message. The key, historically written on a small pad of paper, is used only once and then destroyed, hence the name one-time. This ensures that each message has a unique encryption. This process provides perfect secrecy, as the key is a random string that is as long as the original text, and only the sender and recipient know the key. The one-time pad was invented by Gilbert Vernon and Joseph Mawborn in 1917. It has been used throughout history, including by the military during World War II for secure communication. It is still used today, as demonstrated by the number stations that are usually on shortwave frequencies. If you want to send a secret message and want absolutely no one to be able to decrypt it other than the intended recipient, then this method is for you. It is old school and time-consuming, but it is considered unbreakable if the following conditions are met. The key is truly random. The key is at least as long as the plain text. The key is used only once and then destroyed. The key is kept secret between the sender and the recipient. The first thing we must do is generate the key, which is made of a series of random numbers from 0 to 9. Since computers cannot generate truly random numbers without forming some sort of pattern, some 10-sided dice will do it quite well. We need some materials. Graph paper, because it helps keep things lined up. A pen. Some 10-sided dice, also known as D10s, preferably 6 of them. Some time and a little patience. First, get one sheet of graph paper and cut it into 4 strips that are 6 grid divisions wide. Now write the letters A through Z from top to bottom on 2 strips, and then the numbers 1 through 26 next to them, because in order to do this, we need to turn our letters into numbers. Make sure that you put a 0 in front of every single digit number so that they look like 01, 02, 03, 04, and so on. Every letter must have a 2-digit number. There's really no need to scramble these letters and numbers. They will be soon encrypted anyway. Next, let's make the pads out of the other 2 strips of graph paper. For now, we are going to use one of them for the send key and the other for the receive key, because both the sender and recipient will have their own copy of the key. Now let's get out the dice. If we roll 6 dice at one time, we can get this process done much quicker. Roll all 6 dice and read them from left to right. Write the 6 numbers on the first line of both transmit and receive lists. Repeat for each line until you fill the paper strips. For this demonstration, we are going to generate only a few lines, which will be more than sufficient. Write send at the bottom of the back of one list and receive at the bottom of the back of the other list. Now that we have created our pad, let's write down a short secret message. Let's write the words, "This is a test," on a new sheet of graph paper. We're not going to include the spaces for this demonstration. Now we write the corresponding numbers for each letter from our vertical list. T equals 20, H equals 08, I equals 09, S equals 19, and so on, until you have this sequence of numbers: 20, 08, 09, 19, 09, 19, 01, 20, 05, 19, and 20. This is the plain text or unencrypted message. 11 letters will make it 22 digits long. Now we write down the first 22 numbers from our key or pad under the first numbers. Since there are 6 digits per line of our pad, we will be using 4 rows of numbers, and the last 2 numbers will be unused. Our new key is 215668398970616627293. Tear off the numbers in the key that you have just used, including the remaining digits 8 and 7, and destroy them. Now for some simple modulo 10 addition and subtraction. Modulo 10 means we are working with single-digit numbers from 0 to 9 only, no negative numbers. Let's start with the first digits on the left. 2 plus 2 equals 4, 0 plus 1 equals 1, 0 plus 5 equals 5, 8 plus 6 equals 14, but we throw away the 1 from 14, leaving us with 4. 0 plus 6 equals 6, 9 plus 8 equals 17, but we throw away the 1 that leaves us with 7, and so on. This is the encrypted message or ciphertext. Now this message can be sent by whatever way the sender chooses. When the recipient gets the message, the recipient takes a number from the receive key and places it under the first number of the ciphertext. Repeat until you have a number under each ciphertext number. Don't forget to destroy the key you just used. Now subtract the key from the ciphertext using modulo 10. 4 minus 2 equals 2. 1 minus 1 equals 0. 5 minus 5 equals 0. Since we can't subtract 6 from 4, we imagine 4 as 14. 14 minus 6 equals 8. 6 minus 6 equals 0. 7 minus 8 is now 17 minus 8 because we cannot subtract 8 from 7, and so on. What we have left is the decrypted message: 20, 08, 09, 19, 09, 19, 01, 20, 05, 19, and 20, which spells out, "This is a test." Remember that this message can only be sent one way, because if both parties use the same key for two-way messages, there is a good chance of really messing up if both parties send the message at the same time. Remember one of the rules: the key is used only once and then destroyed. For two-way communication, it is highly recommended for both parties to have 2 different keys, one for sending and one for receiving. If you don't have the key, the odds of guessing the correct sequence of numbers for this 11-letter message are 1 in 26 to the 11th power, or 1 in 3,444,344,486,987,776 with a brute force attack, and you would still have no way to distinguish the intended message. Without the key, the message is theoretically undecryptable due to the one-time pad's perfect secrecy. So, the odds of decrypting depend entirely on key possession. Without the key, the chance of getting it is effectively 0 in practice.